Yo yo yo! Welcome to another Out the Saddle production. Um, so yeah, this was a ride, some footage from a ride that I did yesterday. So I started in Bristol, 'cause that's where I live at the moment, and went off north of Bristol to the Severn Beach and over to the Cotswolds, to Bath, and then back to Bristol on the bike path. Yeah, so it's about a 55-mile ride. As you can see, cracking weather. It was clear blue skies all the way around. Um, Quite chilly there. It's pretty cold. Yeah, I was just thought I'd I just thought I'd talk a bit about the whole driver cyclist road rage battle that happens. Um, it's I actually get quite upset about it, because I try and be reasonably diplomatic, and I don't try and get too raged about anything. But yeah, I just think it's an issue that has got to sort itself out, because no one likes being the recipient of road rage. Um, I certainly don't. But I do drive as well, so I do know that cyclists can be a bit of a pain to get around, especially when they're in large groups. Um, but I just think ultimately, what it comes down to is this conflict of interest in terms of why you're on the road. So most car drivers, and other sort of heavy vehicles, motorized vehicles, are on the road for as a job. So they're not on there for recreational purposes by and large, whereas a cyclist is. So as a result of that, people kind of don't really respect cyclists as much as they should. They think, oh, like, why on the roads, blah blah blah. But you know, we're as entitled as other road users to be on the roads. So that's kind of what I think about that. Don't get me wrong, there are decent car drivers that are really patient, but you know, I think what needs to happen is there needs to be large investment from the government in bike infrastructure, so providing bike lanes on roads, so maybe having to slightly widen the road. I know that would be a massive cost, but in the long run, I reckon it would be really good, because when there's a bike lane, as a cyclist, you get way more respect, because car drivers see the bike lane and they're like, right, I can't go in there. So yeah, it's when there's poor cycling infrastructure, and cars sort of want to get around, but they can't. So yeah, that's what I think about that. It's a shame about all this conflict. Hopefully, it won't always be like this. I think a lot of it is that the car drivers don't really understand cyclists. Like, they probably haven't ridden bikes that much in their life for pleasure, so they kind of don't really understand what it's all about. Cycling is a great sport for for your mind and for your body. As a nation, I think it's really good to promote cycling, because it has large health benefits in the long run. We are seeing a lot more cyclists out there. The Tour de France coming to Yorkshire in 2014, that was really good for that region. But yeah, I just think there needs to be more investment for the sport, and sort of also a heightened awareness for other road users about the vulnerability of cyclists. I think there should be as part of your driving theory, you should have to deal with cyclists and know what to do. That's kind of what I think about that. You know, I do ride car, I do drive cars. I do know that it can be frustrating, but there just needs to be respect. You know, obviously, I think cyclists as well should show cars respect. You know, if there's a massive tailback, like I'm talking huge, maybe they should try and let some of them pass. But at the end of the day, you know, they have a right to be on the roads, and unless that's changed, then you know it isn't wrong to cycle on the roads. But yeah, no, I do think it ultimately comes down to this conflict where the cyclists are on there for recreation, and the drivers are on there for as a means to an end. You know, cycling's about the journey, and being in a car isn't really. Unless you're on a road trip in America or something, that'll be pretty cool. Some of this footage was taken on my GoPro. I've got a Hero Session, so 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's all right. This is the first ride I've been on in flipping ages. I've sort of had exams, and my last exam was yesterday, so I kind of went out for a pootle post exams, which was always nice. I did lose my jacket there. I think it came out of my jersey pocket, which was a bit of a shame. But no, it was really good. Love getting out on the bike, and hopefully we can get more bums on bikes, because that's what it's all about. Cheers guys.